Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're calling in from. We're super grateful to have you here today for Music Business Common Ground webinar series. My name is Henrik Bick. I'm here with the communications team at the Music Business Association, and I'm glad to welcome you to today's webinar. Before we intro our panelists today, I just have a couple of quick housekeeping notes for you to help make the most of today's session and to let you know about what Music Biz is up to. First and foremost, in order to connect with your fellow attendees, the best way is to use the chat feature on your Zoom dashboard. Be sure to change the setting on who can see my messages to everyone. That way, folks in the chat can network with one another and communicate with our panelists as the session goes on. We'll do Q&A at the end of today's webinar today. In order to make sure your questions get to today's panelists, use the dedicated Q&A button on your Zoom dashboard. It'll pull up a separate window. You'll be able to type in questions from there. And then once we wrap up the presentation today and get into open Q&A, we'll start answering questions from there. Today is May 1st, so we are officially in Music Biz Month. In case you didn't know, Music Biz 2025 is coming to Atlanta for the very first time, May 12th to the 15th, just a couple of days away. We're super excited to be there and hope you'll join us there. And most recently, we announced the lineup for our Busy Awards dinner. We're super excited to have Reach Records founder and artist Lecrae as the host for our 2025 Busy Awards dinner, which will also feature performances by Yami Safdie and Tyler Parks. Visit musicbiz.org or musicbiz2025.com for full information on the full 4-day schedule, all of the panels, roundtables, and everything that you can attend while you're at Music Biz. You can register for your badge, check out hotel rooms, and book flights if you haven't done so already. And once you are ready and registered for Music Biz, be sure to download our official event app. That'll let you check out the full 4-day schedule and build your personal agenda, network with your fellow attendees, sign up for sessions that require prior signups, including our roundtables, and so much more. So that's musicbiz2025.com or musicbiz.org, our main page for all things conference related. And reminder, that's May 12th to the 15th. While you're at our homepage, you can also check out our latest episodes of the Future of What podcast. A week ago, we had the Horn brothers, Byron, Ryan, and Tyson Horn join us to talk about the music and entertainment scene in Atlanta and why the Music Biz Conference is posed for success and why everyone will have a great time in the local music business scene in Atlanta. We have another episode on that Music Biz in Atlanta series coming up early next week, so be sure to check that out on our website and also our socials in the coming days. That's Music Biz Assoc on Instagram and Music Business Association on LinkedIn. But enough about me. You're not here for me today. You're here to hear from the 24/7 artist team, and we're super excited to have them in a very interactive and exciting session today. So please welcome Udo Gray Jr. and Davina Thomas from the 24/7 artist team and artist Aza Weeks. Folks, take it away.
What up? What up? Thank you so much for that, man. We are grateful to be here. This is going to be really cool. I'm Uda Gray Jr. I'm joined by Asa Weeks. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to get right into it so that we can get everybody on the same page. So, right now, we're going to go through a career planning session. We call it our Vision to Victory. If you know me, you know that I'm a big fan of vision boards. It's the beginning of everything. And if you don't, then you're going to get to know me and Asa and what we do. So, who am I? I am Udo Gray Jr. I'm the co founder of 24/7 Artists and formerly founder of House Studios. Grammy winning entrepreneur, been in the music industry since I was a kid and grew up starting as a producer engineer, got into studio ownership, record label, publishing, sync, you name it, we've done it. 24/7 Artists, the company we launch, is a career building platform for artists. We help artists like Asa and thousands of other artists around the world with their business. We help them set up their teams. We help them kind of roll out everything that's needed behind the scenes, behind the creativity. And the exercise we're going to go through today is the first step we take with every artist. So 24/7 Artists has three brand pillars. We have tools, education, and community. We think these three things put together are the keys for success for any artist. What we're going through right now is our vision board tool. And you'll see elements of education in there, and you'll understand how this also connects with community. In a little bit, Ace is going to introduce himself. He's been one of our longest community members and I think one of the next artists that's going to be a true representation and example of what a successful 24/7 artist looks like. I'm going to go through kind of our journey, right? So here's a nice little picture with a bunch of artists we've worked with over the years. Some you may recognize, some you may not. But around 10 years ago, maybe 12 years ago, we started a grant program because we felt like there were so many artists who just needed a little bit more support, a little bit more guidance, a little bit more development to get to the next level. So we launched that grant program, and early artists in that program were Ari Lennox and Mannywellz and Phil Day, and so many artists in the DMV where we were based at the time who took advantage of this program, where they didn't just come to create, they came to learn. When we launched that program in our third year, we met Mannywellz. And Mannywellz came in and blew us away just with his work ethic, his talent, his creativity, and everything that comes with being an artist. He was like the complete package as far as potential. And you see those come across every now and then. And we knew that there was something special there. So after his grant program, we stayed on the Mannywellz management team and we helped him kind of take a lot of his early goals and ideas and turn them into reality. We can't take full credit for it. There's a lot that goes into an artist kind of launching. Everybody here should know that. But one thing is super clear that having a team, having systems, having support doesn't hurt. And in that, what ended up happening with Mannywellz is you'll see in that first picture, that's his first recording session ever at our studios back in the day. Fast forward a few years, he ended up winning Grammy. He was a part of a Grammy winning project, um, ended up charting on billboards. And a few months ago, he just sold out his first tour, but that picture there is from one of his sold out shows. When we met Manny Wells, he hadn't sold a ticket, didn't have a stream, we didn't have anything but just potential. And you fast forward all these years later, and everything that he's been able to do was on a vision board at one point in time. And that vision board, as it's refined and as it's grown over the years, has become something that we now do with every artist that we take under our wing, that we're helping develop or mentor. And today we're going to go through that exercise with Asa Week. So just imagine Manny Wells now, global artist, touring, charting, doing all the cool stuff, was once an artist who was just sitting at a table with us trying to figure out, all right, where do I go? How do I get started? What do I do next? And that's where we are today with Asa Weeks. So Asa Weeks is a DMV based artist who was a part of the 24/7 artist community. And much like Manny, has a lot of those intangibles we look for in an artist that we think has the potential to do well in their career. He has a talent, he has a personality, he has the work ethic, he has a drive, he has a support system. And our job is to kind of help him get clear. But rather than I speak about him, I'd rather Asa give an intro to himself. So Asa, could you tell these folks about yourself?
Thank you so much for that intro, Yudu. Before I get started, I just want to thank everybody for being on this call. This is one of the things you say as an artist is recognizing that you're actively living out your dreams. So this is very cool to be doing this right now. But a little bit about myself. I am a Liberian raised first generation American. Both my parents are from Liberia. I've lived in Maryland for most of my life. And I'm a rapper, musician, songwriter, creative. And outside of the music stuff, I am a human being. I'm a new uncle. I'm a sister. I'm a brother to a sister, and I'm a nephew. So I just love what I'm able to do. I'm blessed to be able to be in the position that I'm in, and I can't wait to share with you guys. Thank you for having me.
Perfect. And that's Asa's socials, which will also be in the chat if you all want to connect with Asa. As we like to say, get him early in his career so that when he's selling out the big venues and the coolest rapper in the world, and you're asking him for tickets or whatever, you can say, I knew you before, right? So that's one of the things we love to provide people access to. And don't hit me after he's made it and say, how can I get in touch with Asa? All right, so now we're gonna go through a vision board exercise. You may see me looking off to the right or left when Asa's speaking. I'm gonna be taking notes. This exercise is usually longer. It's usually done over a few sessions, and it evolves over time. But for this presentation, we're gonna run through it pretty quickly with some high-level questions and answers. And then we'll have kind of an end product that we'll look at, and then we'll speak to how this kind of fits into the bigger ecosystem with 24/7 artists and with a lot of you who are in attendance or watching this. So, Asa, are you ready?
Always.
Let's go. All right, so I'm gonna start big. And Asa, I want to thank you because usually we don't do this publicly. So
Yeah.
you're in a vulnerable place, but this is a
Yeah.
safe space. So ignore the all the people who are watching. It's just you and I, like normal, um,
Okay.
as we answer this. And I don't know is always a good answer. It's always accepted answer. Um,
Okay.
and we'll walk through this together. But first question is, what's your ultimate dream as an artist?
I love how you just choose off rip. Let's just go as big as we possibly can. Like let's not sugarcoat anything. Uh, that's a good question. My ultimate dream as an artist. I say that's a pretty big question. So I'll answer in two ways. One, I'll give you an abstract. I think my dream, um, that's like a vision, a life, a way of life, how I want to live. So I'd say I want to be able to fully support myself and my family off of music, and not only like my immediate family now, but also leave a legacy for when I'm gone. So that's like grand scheme, all this work that I'm putting in now, all the work that I'm going to be putting in for the next X amount of years. I wanted to, be able to support my family so they can live the life they want to live. And then after I'm gone, I still want, people to be inspired for my family and have my kids be able to, do what they want and live life how they want to live. And then I'd say for more specific dream, I've always seen myself performing. Like a lot of times I'll close my eyes and I'll visualize performing at Madison Square Garden. So that's a huge dream I have for myself, to headline Madison Square Garden. So
Perfect.
I'd say those two: take care of my family, headline Madison. I feel like they coincide. If we
I
can
think
do Madison, I think we can take care of the family.
I, that is for sure. All right, so we've got a specific vision in selling out Madison Square Garden. I love that. I see that for you. And then we've also got a very big vision of being able to fully support yourself and your family. And I love that you went specific, not just my immediate, but extended family. And you went as far as saying like leaving a legacy for my kids and grandkids. So
That's
that
what's really most important.
that sets a very big, clear vision. If you're in the chat, I can't see the chat, but I would love for y'all to basically put out some positive vibes for Asa. Anytime we put these dreams out there, they become real. One of the things that we found is most people don't answer these questions. So anything looks good, anything looks like it could be worthwhile. And taking some time to answer some very simple but not easy to answer questions is a great first step. So I love that for you, Asa.
Amen.
All right. So next, I'm gonna say what milestones would feel like I made it, and I'm gonna rephrase it from like made because that's past tense. So like, what are things that would happen that make you feel like, oh man, like it's happening, like I'm in it.
Okay. I can give you, so I'll start with giving you stuff that's already happened that made me feel that way. And then I'll give you like further down the line things. So one is I sold out my first ever show in my hometown, um, to the point where like it was standing room only. And that was a really cool feeling because I had never done something like that. And getting that validation to see people show up from all over my town, all over my city, people coming out of town, that was a really validating feeling. And I think that is the moment where I realized like, okay, I really do have a place here. So that was one thing that happened. Another thing that happened that gives me that feeling is whenever I'm performing or whatever, I'm with people and they know the words to the music, that is a great feeling. But I think down the line, looking long term, some milestones would be making it to the Grammys. That'd be dope. Definitely. I've been planning my Grammy speech since I was a wee little backpack rapper. So that's one. I definitely would love to star in and like star, not only starring, but also do the soundtrack for a feature film. I love acting. And of course, music's my number one passion. So to be able to do those two in the same time, that is that's a huge milestone. And then I always want to be on a late night show. So like be a guest on a late night show. I feel like I'd be able to the dialogue that comes with that, like the improv and the banter that comes with late night show. I feel like that'd be really fun. So that's definitely another moment where I would feel like, all right, this is real. We're making it. Let's keep going.
I love it. All right. So if I could contain that, because I love those active milestones and the future ones.
Mm-hmm.
I could make it measurable, something that we could track is A, the ability to sell out shows. That's something that could be tracked. And then B, I would say we could also track maybe like fans, true fans who know the music, right? True
Yeah.
fans who are the diehards, the day ones who, if you start a song, they can finish it for you, which I know is a
Yeah.
great feeling.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That's the best feeling, I think, as an artist. Like,
I am absolutely sure.
yeah.
All right. So next up, who inspires you?
Okay. I mean, you know this about me, but for some of the people who don't, who's on here, I spoke to it a little bit. My family's from a country called Liberia in West Africa, and so I'd say my biggest inspiration, like in everyday life, are my parents. Just a little bit of history to give you guys insight about me and like what really drives me is there was a there was a civil war in Liberia that my parents had to flee the country from, and like knowing the ins and outs of that story, like when I first started writing, it kept me up at night to just know all of these things. And so like it feels like I'm here for a greater purpose, and having the gift to be able to do music is definitely is that. So I'd say my family, my parents are my biggest inspiration. But outside of family, I'd say specifically other creatives. Donald Glover, Childish Gambino was a big inspiration for me, and Pharrell also huge inspiration for me. Donald Glover has this short film on YouTube that I watch sometimes whenever I just want to get reference points or just draw something. And then Pharrell dropped. I think we did that for the Piece by Piece movie. That was a huge inspiration to me. So sometimes I'll just run that back, and that inspires me. But I find myself getting inspiration though from many things in life. It's not just one set group of things, but those are three measurable things I'd say really inspire me. And then the impact that I want to have on people, or the impact I want to leave, like I said, of course, leave a legacy, but also is I have this, for those of you who don't know, I have my whole brand, my whole mantra is don't let anyone take your dreams. I don't know if you see it, it says right here on my t-shirt, don't let anyone take your dreams. And kind of what that is it's it's a mindset, but it's also a call to action. Because if you see in the parentheses, it says don't let anyone. So it's like you have to don't let anyone take your dreams, but also in exclamate, like in big letters and bold letters, it's take your dreams. Because I think there's a responsibility that we have not only to ourselves but to the world as just a creative person. If there's anything that you see to if there's anything you see that could add value to the world, it's your responsibility to make that thing happen. Because the more I'm doing this, the more I get opportunities and miss opportunities. I'm realizing that it all starts with me, and no one's going to give me anything. I really have to take everything that I want in life. So if I were to leave any impact once I'm gone, is I want people to understand that what you want in life is possible, but there's a level of work that it takes for it. There's a level of sacrifice that it takes to get it. And at the end of the day, it's your responsibility to make that thing happen. So that's my impact.
I love that. Man, I absolutely love that. I love that your parents are your inspiration, and knowing about the Liberian War and people who had to
Bruh,
come here and start all over again, like that's a huge
bruh,
call for action or why.
for
And then
sure.
don't let anyone take your dreams. I think goes hand in hand with that. And
Hmm.
with Pharrell and Childish being great storytellers and leading into like, your future goals of being in film and
Hmm.
your gifts to tell stories, I love
Hmm.
that you have kind of a compass. So, part of what we've done, and you know this, is we'll then start reverse engineering from people like Pharrell and Childish and see like what did they do early in their careers, where
Hmm.
did they kind of make their mantras visible, how did they kind of pivot and expand using their gifts. So we can build around that, but I love that. So
Yep.
um, let's go to the next question. We're almost done. Again, this is a sped up version, but we're
What does
almost there.
success
So
look
let's
like?
start backwards. What does success look like in 5 years? So everything works out, everything goes as planned.
Yeah.
What 2 weeks in 5 years?
Okay. So, um, if we're looking at it now, I guess I'll just use the answers that I kind of already worked with. So definitely that Madison Square Garden. I think doing that show 5 years from now, that's the ultimate success, like we had said, and also starring in film. That's also that lies in it. So if that's 5 years from now, I'd say 3 years from now would be, you know, getting on tours. So selling out tours, being a part of tours. So get my, because 5 years, if you're going to do Madison Square Garden, you're going to need to have a certain level of notoriety, and you're going to need to have that demand. So I'd say doing tours, selling out my own tour, being a part of other tours, opening acts, stuff like that. And then 1 year, I think would be selling out my own show, of course, here in my hometown. I know I'm doing a show in October here again. So selling that out. And then this time next year, if we could do a place like in DC specifically, like a Union Stage, that would be a big, um, that's a huge measurable moment of success. Like doing a 400 person venue at my level 1 year from now, that is definitely a win.
I love it. And you're such a pro at this that you did the work for us. So what Asa did there, really simply, we have this big vision we started with. We kind of chopped that tree down to something more actionable, and we now have gotten to a place where there's a clear 1 year vision. It doesn't take away or detract from the goal of winning Grammys, being in a film, being a creative director, music supervisor, any of the other things that are in his dreams. But we know that for 1 year now, we can zoom in and say, and the first thing we're working towards is a sold out Union Stage hometown show. And that does that feel achievable to you, Asa? Do you feel like in
That's,
6 months we can do that?
yeah, I got the network, I got the people, and I think it just would take, like, it would really just take focus on making it happen, and I believe it could happen.
Perfect. So now we'll go to just what you just said. Based on that goal, right? So we
Mhm.
now we're going to zoom into the 1 year goal. What do you need for that 1 year goal to happen? So remove money out of the equation because money is just a tool to get to the thing. So imagine you won the lottery tomorrow. What are you
Yeah.
doing with that money? You get a deal tomorrow. You got $1 million tomorrow. What are you doing
Okay.
with that money to hit that 1 year goal of a sold out show at Union Stage with people singing word for word your songs?
Okay. What you need? That could always be a difficult question for artists, because it's like you spend your whole life thinking like, oh, I want this, but then when it becomes real, it's like, oh shoot, what do I need? But nah, I guess I'll just take it piece by piece. Music wise, um, I mean, I think undeniable music, that goes without saying. A catalog that is not only that can support itself, but like is it resonates with people. It has a fan base of people. So I'm blessed to have such a good network of friends and producers. So making music has never been hard. So that would be one thing. Definitely growing my catalog, and getting a couple hits under my belt, getting a couple songs that resonate with more than just my immediate fan base, but like on a global level. So that's definitely one thing I need to build. Team, I'd say team wise, it would be like, I think like booking agents, like someone who would always like ensure that my talents are being displayed, because like music, of course, I love performing. I think as an artist, you don't really understand my artistry until you see me perform, because that's when it resonates the most. So I think more opportunities I get to perform, that'll definitely help build. I get make most of my connections with people at shows, when I meet people, I'm talking face to face. So I'd say that's one thing. Another thing would be marketing. I know, very. I think I do a decent job on my own, just creating organic content and organic moments that connect with people. But I think on a grander scale, like a marketing plan with like professionals who know, like, okay, if we do XYZ, we can expect certain metrics. I think that would totally help, because then that would just leave me to be creative. I wouldn't have to think about the other things that come with it. I would have support in that area. And then for my brand, I mean, just visibility for don't let anyone take your dreams. So I think that's just like collaborating with more existing brands, collaborating with more companies, maybe doing more ambassador work, stuff like that. So I think that would help building.
All right, I love it. So with that now, to make it relevant to the 1 year goal, from a
Mm-hmm,
music standpoint,
mm-hmm,
undeniable music you can perform, building
mm-hmm,
out that fan base,
mm-hmm,
and getting out and connecting with folks through shows and other opportunities, which then
mm-hmm,
means having someone help you with shows, whether it's partnering with So Far Sounds or partnering with the local venues to open for other acts when they come to town,
mm-hmm.
connecting there for marketing support, having someone come in who kind of understands that campaign marketing world so you can focus more on the music
Definitely.
of, and then from a brand standpoint, more visibility through collaboration, which you see brands and companies, and I'll add artists in there because
Mm-hmm.
you can grow your brand and reach more people that way. And again, a year from now, if you do that right strategically over the next 12 months, to get 450 people in a room becomes a lot easier when you grow
For
through
sure.
collaboration.
Like for something like that, and I'm just thinking like to get, because this also helped me when I did my first show, and I know everything's just about scaling. So if I've done it once, I can do it again. So like I know with my first show, what helped me sell that out was it wasn't just me. Like I had myself. Of course, it was my show. I was the headline, whatever. But I had two other of my artist friends who performed, and then I also had vendors come in, and they were selling selling their products. And so it felt like more of we're doing this, not I'm doing this. And now I'm thinking like same thing can happen at Union Stage. It can be, of course, it's my show, I'm headlining, but like I know so many people around the DMV that we could build it out so it's like we're celebrating you know what I mean? It's like it's not just me, it's more of a community thing.
I love
So
it.
that's what I'm thinking.
For those of you, DMV is not where you get your license. It is the DC Metro Police.
Yeah, we call it the NBA out here. Okay, to the 40 of you who are on the call, who is the NBA. Okay, the DMV is where I live. The NBA is where I go to get my registration.
All right, and I've got the last questions for us. So
Hmm.
now, based
Oh,
on
okay.
that 1 year goal and based on what we know we need, assuming those things we need are in place and that 1 year is ticking now, what are some challenges that you honestly think will possibly come up that we have to address?
Okay. If we're speaking specifically to that 1 year goal, I mean that this kind of applies just for everything, but um, I know that um, the biggest thing I'm getting for a challenge is that I'm now learning about myself is that I am such a empathetic, personable person that sometimes it can, let me say this the simple way possible. I'm gonna need to be able to tell people, no, I don't like this. And that for me can be a challenge. Um, when like for my own art, I have to get into my head that this is my art, this is what I'm growing, this is it's my vision. So if there's things that happen as I grow, I'm gonna get more help from people, more input from other people, and I have to be able to, there's like a certain level of sternness that I'm gonna have to walk with, and that's okay. Like saying no to things and saying no to people, and some people may not like it, some people may not stay, some people may not want to be a part of it anymore, and I have to be okay with that. Something it's and I know this is the truth because this has already happened with me. I had a friend who you know about this. my since from like 2020 to 2022, I was working with one producer. We made like 3 projects worth of music together and a bunch of other loosies. And not only were we like partners in music, but like that was a really good friend of mine. And long story short, that friendship uh, that broke off. So I lost that friend and I lost all that work in music. And for me, that was really hard because it was double fold. Like, damn, not only did I feel like I lost my art, I felt like I lost like the expression I had put in all that time. And it's like when you put a moment of time, like a moment of yourself into music and then you lose it, it feels like, damn, you can feel lost as an artist. So that happened. Um, but I realized that creativity is infinite. So no matter what happens, there's always going to be more. There's always going to be another inspiration. So to overcome stuff like that, I think staying grounded for me is the biggest thing. And luckily, I have a really good circle. So I'd say keeping a tight knit circle, keeping my faith in Christ is definitely a backbone of how I live and how I walk. And then, of course, my friends and my family are the things that will keep me to overcome them. But yeah, the challenge of knowing what you want and not wavering to get what you want in as an artist can be definitely hard. And I know that that will happen, but I think I'm prepared for it. I've experienced enough things that there's nothing anyone can do to me now that I haven't already experienced.
I love it. Now, bro, I appreciate you again, man, being vulnerable and honest in this exercise. If everybody could just give a silent round of applause for Asa as we went through this.
I can tell you right now, not to cut you off, but I totally forgot that people were on here.
I
We
love that.
just tried I don't even still to this like, do are they actually here? I don't know, but it doesn't feel like it. So I definitely
Bare
not.
just sold to a bunch of strangers. But I want to say this, Asa, that challenge is a real one that most people deal with, not just artists. But in
Yeah,
art in specific, for artists, it's even harder because when you build on collaboration and you bring on team members and you are creating and sharing, learning how to create those boundaries is a big challenge that a lot of people don't learn early in their careers. And we find out down the line that it degrades their soul. So I love that you see that as a challenge, not like, oh, I don't have enough money, or like, because once you get past that, these are the core things
oh
that
yeah, I'm not. That doesn't that yeah, that's not that doesn't even the money thing. You get money, you lose money, money comes, money goes, money's just a tool.
I
So
love. Yep,
I'm not even thinking
yep.
about that. Oh my God. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you. Oh yeah. Shout out Tiffany. Okay, we see it.
I
Yeah.
can't see the chat, so I don't
Hold
know.
on. Nah, hold on. Shout out Tiffany. If I mess with your name, that's my bad. Tiffany Solace. Yeah, we're here. Thank you. You said the insights are invaluable. I appreciate that. Uh
For the
which is
for the overcoming part, I want to cover this real quick too, Asa.
okay, my
I would
bad.
say so. Nothing at all. Like just because someone may be watching this, and I want to make sure they catch this.
Okay.
That you pointed externally for a lot of that, like family, friends, Christ, circle. But I would also challenge you to kind of have a self check in as frequently as you need to, whether it's weekly or monthly, with kind of like that vision board, with those goals, with those action steps, with those brand pillars, some of the exercises we've done offline, so that you can always make decisions based on what's core to you, what's real to you, as opposed to when you don't go through these exercises, y'all, what happens is every idea, every opportunity looks sweet, everything looks great, and then you
Yeah.
don't realize until you're going 100 miles an hour the wrong direction that this isn't for me, and then you got to get yourself out of that. So I wanted
Yeah.
to take a moment to like encourage you for that, but also for anyone who's watching this who's like, man, that's my issue too. Like, I feel like I have a hard time saying no, is creating a system for yourself internally that before you just jump out and agree to something, you take a beat and say, look, let me run this through. Like, does this align with what I'm working on right now? So
Yeah.
I'm going to wrap our
That's
part. I'm going to give you what we call our SMART goals for this, and I'll share this with you afterwards. But basically, if I were to again, this is a condensed version. I appreciate this. Obviously, we've done work outside of this, But if I were to then drill down into 30 days, Asa, and we operate in like 2 week or 30-day sprints, I would say grow local fan engagement is something that you can track, whether it's through something like Chartmetric, a tool we've introduced you to, whether it's through your social following, your community, your mailing list. But I would track how much you can grow your local fan engagement in 30 days. I would set challenges to grow your email list, because when you're talking about selling out tickets, you're talking about connecting with folks. An email is a great way to connect. So growing your email list by a number, let's say 100 new email subscribers or 250 or whatever the number is, and then tracking that. I would say an achievable part of this would be use targeted content and local collaborations to build awareness. So something that's achievable is saying, I'm going to collaborate with these creators from my city this month, whether it's 2 or 3 or 4, whatever you can output, and whatever that collaboration looks like. Relevant, I would say building out towards the 1 year goal of selling out Union Stage. To create that demand, go through the exercise we've talked about in the past of like connecting with the local venues, getting them your EPK, and being open for artists who are coming to town, right? Like that's a real simple thing we can track. And then time bound, I would say like May 31st would be your next check-in to kind of say, based on these goals, can I execute? Have I executed? What's working? What's not? And then you're kind of asking yourself these questions again, right? It's okay in 30 days to say, what are the current challenges? What do I need? Is this meeting the mark?
Yeah.
So I
And
love.
that's
I will share this with you.
one of the things also for myself, just like speaking from personal experience. I think the biggest thing you have to understand is that like all of this stuff happens in real time, and things change in real time very fast. So like you just saying that in 30 days from now you can answer these same questions and they could be completely different. For me, that was like, yo, I feel like you would ask me a question, I feel like I need to answer the whole plan like right then and there. But it's like, no, what do you need right now? What's going to get you to that next thing? And how can we work towards that next thing? So that's just a really good point. I want to speak on that. Oh, and shout out Evangeline. Thank you. She said it's so easy to believe in you and your dreams while listening to you. So thank you. That's my goal.
Oh. All right. So now, where does this fit into like our total ecosystem? So 24/7 artists, we built a series and suite of tools to support artists once we go through these exercises, to do everything from manage their IP, their tasks, their team, their finances. And we have more and more tools that we're building and partners we're integrating with. One of the things that, again, I spoke to earlier as I was asking those questions was everything we do is driven by the idea of SMART goals. Applying these simple business approaches to creators seems like an oxymoron, but it's what's missing, right? When we say, how do we develop talent? And we know that that's missing in our industry or not as present as it used to be. It's really attaching goals to creatives, leaving room for creativity, leaving room for God, but allowing creatives to kind of create trackable, measurable steps. And so that's something that we're really, really big on with 24/7 artists. And one of the things I want to speak to before we open it up for the Q&A is also this is something I recommend that everyone in the industry does. Obviously, teaching this to artists and getting creators and their teams clear is where our passion lies, and that's our mission. But what we've also seen is that the people who support the artists being clear, when both parties are clear, there's a lot more synergy and things move a lot quicker. When both parties are not clear, it only takes one person to not be clear for both to not be clear. It's usually where you end up, bumping heads or not gelling or having the greatest opportunities in the world and things not moving forward. And you're like, man, like everything worked out. We were right there, but it just didn't seem to move. So I would say create a vision board. If you're watching this, whether it's live or on replay, I highly recommend you create your own vision board. If you need any help with that, you can definitely reach out to me or 24/7 artists. We will support you even if you're not a chart metric artist. If you are a human being, we believe you are an artist. And I really, really again want to thank Asa for being so vulnerable, for being open, for being a part of this. Again, this was a condensed version. This would be something we do over a few weeks and we go back and forth, and then we would launch with kind of a clear plan. But you all got some inside scoop. You got a little bit of the behind the scenes. I hope this was valuable for you. And I'm going to open it up for Q&A. Asa, is there anything you want to say before we open up for Q&A?
This is really cool. I appreciate you guys for even showing interest in something like this. Udo is a great mentor. V is a great mentor. 24/7 is been a great help in my life. So I thank you guys. Thank you to the music biz folks. If you guys are interested in showing love and being a part of my journey, like I think we mentioned it before, but I'm currently doing a Even campaign. So Even is a fire platform. I really enjoyed using it, and I've been able to make more money in a couple weeks directly from music than I have in the past 4 years of doing music. So that's a huge win. At the end of this month, I'm going to be putting out the rest of the project, and I'm just looking forward to it being heard by the masses. And if you guys have any interest in being involved in any way, if you think you can add value, or you just want to connect, we're real people, we're humans. So if you guys ever want to connect, this is a very interesting industry that we're in. So if you guys just want to add value in any way, please feel free to reach out. We love to work with dope people.
Let's go. All right.
And if you haven't, make sure you drink your water today. Stay hydrated.
Got my water right here. Oh no,
There you,
advertising, they didn't pay.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
we're gonna need a check from them. We're gonna need a check.
You all can follow 24/7 Artists. This QR code will take you to our pinpoint page or our link in bio. From there, you can find your way to our workshops, our website, our platform, our socials. We are actually activating at Music Biz. We have a meeting suite at the Wilton meeting room in Music Biz, somewhere in there. We'll be there. The team will be there. We'll be doing product demos, giving out some swag. Excited to meet with folks and would love to collaborate. But yeah, we're open for Q&A. So I don't see the questions. My screen definitely did the disappear thing. So
Before we get into Q&A, I just want to give a sincere thanks to both you, Udo, and Aza. Aza, thank you for sharing your time, your talent, and your story with us today. And Udo, thank you so much for leading today's session, walking through the vision board. I find myself saying more and more often, it's a simple reminder, but it's a reminder. Our industry would not exist without hardworking artists and the music that they put into the world. And to be able to support those folks and getting their stories and their time and their talent out there is why we do what we do. And I'm super grateful to have been able to sit on as a fly on the wall through today's vision board session and kind of learn, your process with 24/7 artists and how it's helping to elevate folks' careers and, kind of make their story and their lives so much better. So thank you both for spending time with us today. Before we get into Q&A, I just wanted to give you both a big shout out because this was a super unique session for us here at Music Biz, and I'm glad that we got you all to be a part of it. Thank you so much for being here.
You're so welcome.
thank you, Henry. Thank you all.
I completely echo what Henrik said. Thank you all so much. To get into Q&A, while we are waiting for some questions to come in, we do have one from Evangeline in the chat. They want to know, how do you direct the conversation when the artist's answer to question number 1 is, I don't know?
It's a great question. So the easiest way to get this answer from someone is something that I have to give credit to my mentor. They asked me this question and what put me on the path today is, if you won the lottery, what would you do? Right? That's most people, myself included at one point, we're so caught up with kind of like the immediate challenges in our lives. It's hard to have that biggest vision of yourself. And that biggest vision of yourself is what you owe yourself when you're starting out chasing your dreams. So if you can answer that question, if I won the lottery, what would I do? And then most people are going to go through a very simple exercise. They're going to go into like the immediate pain points, pay off my debt, take care of this, do that. And then they go to like the material things. I'm gonna get my dream car, get my dream house, get the clothes I always wanted, go on a vacation I ever wanted. And then once they get past those 2 layers, what ends up happening next is they're like, oh, well, now that I've gotten all that taken care of, what would I do with the rest of my life? What would I do on an average day? What is filling my soul? What's filling my cup? And the reason I say this exercise usually takes a few weeks is sometimes question number 1 takes a couple weeks just to get a clear answer. And that's more than normal. But we usually call it the lottery question. If you won a lottery, what would you do? And we have them literally write out a list from top to bottom. And once you get past the immediate pain points and the vanity stuff or the material stuff, most people will find out that they've never actually said out loud what they really want out of their lives. Like Ace is saying, like, yo, I want to sell out Madison Square Garden and I want to perform and have everybody singing my words. That seems so simple and so clear, but a lot of artists aren't going to say that out loud. And so now they're moving without that clarity. And that should impact like how you're making your music, who you're making your music with. Like, you've got to imagine, like, can I imagine a million people singing this song word for word with me? Like, is this that song? Like, or if I say this phrase, it's going to resonate with more people. Like, all of these things have both a subliminal and a direct impact on how we move as humans. But yeah, the lottery question is my answer. If you can get someone to answer that question, if you want a lottery, write down 20 things you would do, 100 things. You're going to get to a place on that list where they're going to be like, oh, I would. And then whatever they fill in, we're going to circle that and say, let's build around that.
Yep, that's good.
That is a wonderful answer. It's definitely a good way to look at it. Is the lottery question for sure? It's a big one. So from Tiffany, we have what tools help to find the right team when artists are starting out to be most successful from the starting gate?
You guys that one more time?
What tools help to find the right team when artists are starting out to be most successful from the gate?
Asa?
Can I give my artist perspective and then you give your professional perspective? For an artist to build a team, you have to do the work that you would pay somebody else to do the work before you can pay somebody else to do the work. That's how I feel about it. So if you say, oh, I'm going to need somebody to do my playlist pitching, I'm going to need somebody to book these sessions for me, I'm going to need this. If you haven't done that work yourself first, there's like a it's like an unwritten rite of passage in the world that if you don't do it first, it's less likely to come to you. And I'm just speaking off of my example. Everything that I've done and gotten to this point, and all the people who are part of my team, it's all just come from me doing things out of ignorance just because I want it and I'm going for it. So like there's a level of ignorance that I was walking with and just doing stuff right, wrong, whatever. I was just getting it done. And then it was once people started seeing a level of success happening with that, then people start coming to you like, yo, can I help you with X, Y, and Z? Do you need this? Do you need this? Do you need this? And then that's when it starts coming out where you can siphon through and find the right people. Like I remember when I first dropped music, I had put out a project, it was doing well, whatever. I hit Yudu in an email. I was like, yo, Yudu, here's some songs, blah, blah, blah. Can you get me this, that, whatever? And rightfully so, he didn't reply because I wasn't even like, what was he going to do for me at that time? But fast forward, I keep doing what I need to do. And now like we're in a position where not only like can I add value to what 24/7 has got going on, but like now we're in more of a congruent place that it just makes more sense for us to work together. So I think for artists, if you're starting off, it really just comes down to like put in that work yourself and then let people start to, come to you. Now, if you want a specific answer for what artists can do, is you have to be anywhere and everywhere that the people that you want to work with are. So like for me, there was in the DMV, luckily we have a decent community of people who do things, and I mean not do things, but like industry events. So like I was at every show, I was at every networking event, I was at any photo shoot, I was at any free event that I could go to. And in that, I started meeting and networking with people that although I didn't do anything with right then, but like we would follow each other, we start seeing each other more. And the more and more you go out to things, you end up realizing you're going to see the same people. And those are the people that if you're not working with them right now, something may click later. So basically do the footwork, do the work, and just go for it, and the right people will find you. That's my answer.
I love it. No, I love, and we have a resource, a tool that we put together. It's a team building exercise. It's one of the templates we provide to artists once they go through their vision board session. And the exercise is really simple. It's helping someone understand their strengths and their weaknesses, what they enjoy doing and what they don't like doing, and then building out the team based on the goals, right, in service of something, so that when you bring on a team member, you're not thinking about it from a role standpoint. You're not thinking about it from a title. It's like it's not I need a manager or I need an agent or I need a creative director. Those are titles. It's I need someone who brings this skill set and brings this clarity, who takes these things that drain me. Like when Asa was speaking, he said it like we say it without even thinking about it. He said someone to help with the ads and the marketing so I can focus on the music. Right? That's a very important statement that when I hear, I'm like, okay, there's something about the ads that you don't like or the content or the campaigns. So when we build a team around you, we've got to build a team that takes the things that you don't fill your cup, that drain you off of your plate, so you can focus on the part of that campaign, the part of those goals, the part of those tasks that fill your cup, that make you feel complete. So it really is like our exercise is more driven by like, do you know what skills you have? There are things that you do really well that you're not even thinking about that you need to do every day to help with your career. And there are things that you're not currently doing that you could be doing, that maybe you even like doing, that would move your career forward. And on the flip side, there are going to be things that you're doing that you really hate doing or you don't do well. That's where we need help today. So even when we bring on a manager, do we make sure that that bullet point that says, and of the tasks that I need you to do, here's something you've got to do weekly moving forward. And that's
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily a manager task. It's a thing that's needed for this person, for this plan today, that you have to be able to bring that skill set. So that's one of the tools. Again, if you're coming to music biz, we'd love to show you some of those templates and tools. But that's just how we do it. As far as externally, you know, I love Digilog. I think like if you're looking for people, there are communities out there like Digilog, or like Big Ass Kids that like you can go find the people who are here to help and here to support. But I would say before you go look for the people, make sure you're clear on what you need those people to. Hope that answers the question.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. It's really nice to get the artist perspective and also the person that works with the artist perspective. This next question is also good for that. Thomas wants to know, what do you think about a 360 deal for new artist development?
It's a big ass question. What do I think about a 360 deal for a new artist development? So I would say this because the word new is what throws me off. Is when you're developing a new artist, we don't know what direction we're going to go in. We don't know what our focus is. We don't understand what the long term thing looks like. And I would say then rather than look for a 360 deal, it sounds like you're looking for a partner, like a business partner who may put up some capital, get some equity in the bigger thing. And if they bring additional value, relationships, resources, cool. But it's more about like we're building this business, we're building this brand together. I'm a fan of that approach over than like a 360 deal when I don't know what's going to work or what's not going to work, where I add value, where I don't add value, where we should focus, where we shouldn't focus. The reality is the first year goal is going to be super zoomed in. It's not going to cover a bunch of things. And the success or what we learn from that goal will evolve and change where we go moving forward. So if I don't know if we're going into touring first, we're going into merch, we're going into brand partnerships, we're going into sync, we're going into like straight content mode. We don't know what we're going to do while we're developing. To then attach kind of like I get a blanket X from everything you get because I'm investing money into your development, to me feels a little off. But if you're an artist and you can find someone that's going to build the business with you and be there long term and add value over the years, then I think that's more of a partnership. That's not. I'm not a big fan of like just signing a 360 because someone's giving you cash. But that's my advice. I'm one human being in the music industry, not the end all be all.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for that, you do. And again, thank you both for being here today and walking us today through this session. Folks, if there's any other last minute questions we've got, feel free to drop them in chat or Q&A now. But again, thank you for spending your time with us today. This was really exciting and super unique for the Music Biz Common Ground webinar series. And do be sure to visit the 24/7 Artist team in Atlanta at Music Biz 2025 if you'll be on site with us in just a couple of days. We look forward to seeing all of y'all there. And again, thank you for joining today's webinar series. And thanks to 24/7 Artists for hosting today. Really appreciate you guys being here. Thanks, Yudu. Thanks, Asia.
Thank you, Alana. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you, Asa.
Of course, man. Thank you. This is cool. This is really cool.
Until we talk again, y'all have a great rest of the